What if everything you know about life, reality, and even yourself could change in a single moment? Not through war, not through politics, but through an explosion of light. A silent storm from the sun that doesn't burn buildings but reconfigures consciousness. A great solar flash. It sounds like science fiction. Yet, traces of this concept appear across cultures, religions, and ancient teachings. Hidden in hieroglyphs, encoded in stone calendars, whispered through sacred chants, there has always been talk of an event so profound, it would cleanse the world not with water or fire, but with light. Imagine it, a sudden burst of energy descending from the heavens, not to destroy, but to transform. The ancients didn't call it an apocalypse, they called it awakening. A divine moment when everything false collapses, and everything true rises. From the sacred temples of Egypt to the sun calendars of the Mayans, from the Vedic hymns of India to Norse tales of Ragnarok, there are stories, remarkably similar stories, that all point to a great cosmic moment. The Mayans spoke of Hunab-Ku, the central galactic sun, sending energy to realign Earth. The Egyptians wrote of Ra's fire descending to purify illusion. The Hindus warned of the end of Kali Yuga, the darkest age, followed by the dawn of Satya Yuga, a time of truth and light. Even the Norse, whose mythology is drenched in frost and flame, spoke of a fiery cataclysm, not just to end the world, but to cleanse it, so a new earth could rise. What's fascinating is not just that these cultures all speak of a light-based event, but that they didn't see it as destruction. They saw it as a reset, a turning point, a purification, not of cities or landscapes, but of human awareness. Now here's where it gets strange. Modern science is beginning to notice something too. The sun, long thought to be a stable celestial object, follows an 11-year solar cycle. At its peak, it releases massive bursts of energy called solar flares, and sometimes even larger events called coronal mass ejections, billions of tons of plasma hurled into space. When aimed at Earth, they can disrupt satellites, fry electronics, and mess with our magnetic field. But what if these flares are more than just space weather? What if, as ancient traditions suggest, they also affect our biology, our minds, our very souls? What if these eruptions are not random, but rhythmic, connected to larger galactic cycles that our ancestors once understood but we've long forgotten? Because here's what those ancient traditions all agree on. When the flash comes, it won't just light up the sky. It will light up everything within you. The veil that separates illusion from truth will tear. Your consciousness will be exposed to itself. And the reality you experience, your timeline, will reflect your inner state. In other words, the event doesn't do anything to you. It reveals you. This is why the great solar flash isn't a doomsday prophecy, it's a mirror. One that reflects back the soul of humanity. And according to the ancients, you don't get to choose when it comes. You only choose whether you're ready. How could so many ancient cultures, separated by oceans, language, and millennia, describe the same event? A great light descending from the heavens. A cosmic fire. A flash so powerful it changes the course of human history. These weren't isolated myths. They were echoes of something far older than history itself. Something woven into the architecture of time. Let's take a journey through what the ancients left behind, not just in books, but in stone, ritual, and rhythm. In India, the Vedic scriptures, the most ancient spiritual texts known, describe vast cycles of time called yugas. We are said to be at the end of Kali Yuga, the darkest and most chaotic age. But the end of Kali Yuga doesn't mean extinction. It means rebirth. A transition into Satya Yuga, the age of truth, peace, and spiritual clarity. And this transition, according to some interpretations, begins with a cosmic event tied to Surya, the solar deity, casting a judgment of light over humanity. Travel to Mesoamerica, and the Mayan long count calendar speaks not of the end of the world, but the end of a cycle. When December 21, 2012 arrived, many feared disaster, but the Maya never predicted apocalypse. They described a return to balance, initiated by energy from the galactic center, what they called Hunab-Ku, the womb of creation, the central sun. From it would come an energy wave to awaken human consciousness and reconnect us with cosmic truth. In Egypt, hieroglyphs etched deep within the temple of Dendera and the halls of Luxor depict Ra, the sun god, not just as a celestial figure, but as a force of purification. Ra's fire is spoken of as a divine descent, not to destroy the physical, but to cleanse the illusion, the false world. Those with a light heart would rise. The others? They would simply remain in the density they refused to release. Even in Norse mythology, buried beneath tales of gods and monsters, we find something eerily similar. Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods, isn't just a story of fire and ice. It ends with the world engulfed in flame, followed by the emergence of a new earth, lush and pure, where humanity starts over in harmony. And then there are the emerald tablets of Thoth, one of the most enigmatic pieces of wisdom said to predate even ancient Egypt. Thoth speaks of a time when the sons of the morning will return, and the veil of the hidden will be lifted from all eyes. The veil, in esoteric tradition, represents ignorance, limitation, illusion. And when that veil lifts, consciousness awakens. What does this all mean? These weren't random mythologies. They were coded messages, warnings wrapped in wisdom, describing not a singular doomsday but a recurring process. A divine cycle, a flash, a split, a transformation. Even more curious is how similar these stories are, not just in content, but in structure. The light comes, the false dissolves, the earth renews, and humanity chooses. Not one of these traditions paints the event as a simple act of destruction. They saw it as a test, an initiation, the sorting, not of people by status or power, but by frequency. Your internal world becomes your external reality. And when the flash comes, as they all agree, it won't decide for you. It will amplify what you already are. It's easy to dismiss ancient myths as symbolic or outdated. But what happens when modern science begins to echo the same story without even realizing it? Our sun, as most know, is not just a ball of light in the sky. It's a living dynamo, a pulsing, magnetic furnace with moods, rhythms, and cycles. Scientists have studied the 11-year solar cycle for decades. At its peak, the sun becomes volatile, releasing solar flares and coronal mass ejections, massive eruptions of plasma and magnetic fields that travel through the solar system. When these bursts hit Earth, they can cause geomagnetic storms. Power grids fail. Satellites glitch. Radio signals drop. But that's just the visible impact. Something deeper may be happening, something more subtle, yet far more significant. Have you ever heard of the Schumann resonance? It's the Earth's natural frequency, an electromagnetic heartbeat that pulses at around 7.83 Hz. Or at least it used to. In recent years, this frequency has started to rise. Sometimes dramatically. Scientists aren't entirely sure why. But esoteric thinkers believe this is no coincidence. They argue that the Earth is responding to more than just solar activity. It's reacting to a galactic wave, an influx of high-frequency energy as our solar system moves closer to the galactic center, an area believed to emit intense cosmic radiation and consciousness-altering frequencies. But here's where it gets truly fascinating. Some researchers suggest that humans, like tuning forks, resonate with both the Schumann frequency and solar output. And not just emotionally or spiritually, but biologically. Our bodies are electrical. Our brains operate on electromagnetic waves. The pineal gland, long associated with the third eye in mystical traditions, contains piezoelectric crystals, the same kind used in electronic sensors. These crystals respond to electromagnetic fields, especially light. That's right, your brain has the physical structure to receive cosmic signals. Some theories go even further, suggesting that our DNA is photoreceptive. It reacts to light. It absorbs it. And in doing so, may activate dormant genetic codes, pieces of the human potential that have been silent for millennia. Now imagine a massive solar flash, a burst of energy so vast it floods the Earth's magnetic field, disrupts electronics, and bombards every living cell with radiation, light, and magnetic force. To machines, it's a threat. To consciousness, it could be an awakening. In this view, the Great Solar Flash isn't just a weather event, it's a software update for the soul. A cosmic download. An energetic trigger that unlocks your highest potential. But that trigger doesn't guarantee a specific outcome. Just like a magnifying glass amplifies sunlight, the flash will amplify your inner state. If you're grounded, open-hearted, and aligned, it could accelerate growth, intuition, even what mystics call light body activation. If you're blocked, resistant, or fragmented, it may bring confusion, emotional purging, even existential crisis. And we're already seeing signs of this, aren't we? All over the world, people are reporting spontaneous awakenings. Vivid dreams. A loss of interest in superficial goals. Emotional roller coasters with no clear cause. Sudden sensitivity to energy. The veil is already thinning, and the body knows it. Could it be that this isn't the beginning of the flash? Could it be we're already inside it? What if the Great Solar Flash isn't just a storm of plasma, but a storm of truth? In the esoteric traditions passed down for thousands of years, light isn't just illumination. It's revelation. It pierces illusion. It dissolves falsehood. And it exposes everything we've hidden, not just from others, but from ourselves. The Gnostics, mystics of early Christianity, spoke of a false world, a constructive distortion called the archonic matrix. To them, Earth wasn't a prison, but our perception of it was. The world we see isn't wrong, but it's filtered, warped by trauma, fear, conditioning, and ancestral programming. In their view, the solar flash is not the end of time. It's the end of illusion. When the light comes, it doesn't destroy the world. It clarifies it. And that's where the real transformation begins. You may have already felt the early signs. Moments where your emotions suddenly overwhelm you, out of nowhere. Dreams that seem more real than waking life. A sudden need to quit your job, leave a relationship, or live more simply. An increasing sense that everything out there is less important than what's happening inside. These are not random. They are activation symptoms. As the solar and galactic energies rise, they stir your internal world. They heat up the subconscious. They bring old wounds, fears, and attachments to the surface, not to punish you, but to give you one final chance to release them. Because when the flash arrives, it will amplify whatever you still carry. And here's where the ancient prophecies get even more fascinating. They all describe a splitting of timelines. A moment when humanity divides, not physically, but vibrationally. In the Law of One, a channeled text describing spiritual physics, this is called the harvest. Souls who are ready, who have chosen service to others, unity and love, move into fourth density, a higher plane of consciousness. Those still anchored in fear, separation, and control remain in the old cycle until they're ready. Dolores Cannon, a hypnotherapist who documented thousands of cases under deep trance, reported the same message. The Earth would split, not into two physical planets, but two frequencies. One where chaos and fear continue, the other where love and clarity emerge. Each soul chooses, through vibration, which earth they resonate with. And how do you know which one you're choosing? It's simple. Look at your internal state. Are you clinging to control, anger, fear, or blame? Or are you seeking growth, forgiveness, intuition, and presence? The flash does not punish. It simply magnifies. So if you're aligned with fear, the light may feel like madness. If you're aligned with truth, the light may feel like coming home. In this way, the solar flash becomes a mirror, one that reveals what can no longer be hidden. It is the grand clarifier, the spiritual lightning strike, the soul's reset button. And when it comes, time as we know it may begin to dissolve. Mystics say the veil between dimensions will thin. Linear time may blur. Your thoughts may manifest rapidly. Your old identity may collapse. And your dormant gifts may come online, all at once. But it doesn't begin with the flash. It begins with your choice, right now. If the great solar flash is the ignition, then the new Earth is the destination. But this isn't some utopian fantasy floating in the clouds. It's not about everyone moving to another planet or waking up in a golden city overnight. The new Earth is not a place. It's a frequency. It's a shift in how reality operates. In this new paradigm, survival is no longer the baseline of existence. Resonance is. You don't climb a hierarchy, you align with a frequency. And that frequency determines what world you live in. For centuries, mystics, prophets, and visionaries have pointed to this future. The Hopi spoke of the fifth world, a time of peace, balance, and spiritual clarity, emerging after a period of great purification. The Hindus described the Satya Yuga, the age of truth, where humanity lives in alignment with divine order. The Mayans envisioned a return to sacred time, where humans live in harmony with galactic cycles, not artificial clocks. Even modern spiritual pioneers like Dolores Cannon described what she called the two Earths prophecy, one Earth where fear, control, and materialism continue, a looping simulation of the old world, and another Earth, brighter, clearer, and softer, where love, intuition, and unity govern everything. What separates the two? Not a conscious decision like clicking a button, but a vibrational one. A resonance in the heart, mind, and soul. The great solar flash in this model doesn't destroy the old Earth. It simply makes it incompatible with those who are ascending. It's like oil and water, they can't mix. And so, naturally, the energies part. On the new Earth, the laws of physics may still apply, but how they express shifts dramatically. Time begins to flow differently, less like a straight arrow and more like a spiral. Thoughts become more powerful, manifestation happens faster, sometimes instantly. Empathy becomes the primary form of communication. You no longer just hear someone's words, you feel them. Technology doesn't disappear, but it evolves. It integrates with consciousness. Devices become extensions of intuition. Healing becomes vibrational. Travel becomes energetic. And most importantly, the wall between nature and spirit falls away. There's no separation between the material and the mystical. The Earth itself becomes sacred again. But what happens to the old world? It doesn't vanish. It fades, becomes energetically incompatible with those who no longer match its vibration. Those still entangled in fear-based systems may continue to live in versions of reality that reflect their inner state, until they're ready to shift. And that's not a punishment. It's not karma. It's simply how resonance works. You don't earn the new Earth. You remember it. Because deep down, your soul already knows this world. It's been encoded in your dreams, your childhood visions, that quiet longing you've always had for something more real, more alive. That was never imagination. That was memory. And now, it's becoming accessible again. Across the planet, we're already seeing signs. Children being born with heightened intuition and empathy. Old systems, financial, political, religious, beginning to crumble. Hidden truths rising to the surface. A planetary tension that feels like something is trying to break through. What if that something is us? The new Earth isn't waiting in the future. It's here. It's now. And you are the bridge. If the solar flash is real, if humanity is on the verge of a great vibrational leap, then it begs a powerful question. Are we doing this alone? According to nearly every esoteric tradition, the answer is no. We are not isolated. We are not forgotten. In fact, we are being watched, guided, and supported by beings far older, wiser, and more advanced than anything we've encountered in human history. They've been called many names. The Pleiadians, with their message of love, evolution, and emotional healing. The Arcturians, masters of energy technology and planetary grids. The Sirians, the water architects, who seeded advanced spiritual knowledge. And the Galactic Federation of Light, a vast alliance of star civilizations committed to helping Earth ascend, not by interference, but by alignment with universal law. These beings are not gods. They are not saviors. They are kin, cosmic relatives who have been through this transformation before. They understand what it means to shift dimensions, to shed illusion, to ascend in vibration while still holding form. According to the law of one, Earth is undergoing a planetary graduation, a shift from third-density consciousness, focused on fear, survival, and separation, into fourth-density unity. And just like any graduation, we have guides, miwas, observers, but they won't do the work for us. Their support comes in subtle forms: energy downloads, dream visitations, synchronicities, moments of inner clarity that feel otherworldly. Have you ever felt like you received a message, but couldn't explain how? A thought that wasn't yours, but brought peace or insight. That's how they work. Quietly, lovingly, without control. But of course, there is another side. Because not every force in the cosmos wants to see humanity evolve. The Gnostics spoke of the archons, beings of deception and distortion who seek to trap souls in illusion. Not with chains, but with fear, distraction, division, false narratives. Modern mystics describe them as AI-like entities that operate in the astral realms, feeding off the energy of confusion. Some say they infiltrate our media, governments, and belief systems, not through possession, but through influence. They create programs of separation, scarcity, competition, and their greatest weapon? Making you believe you are alone. These forces are not evil in a Hollywood sense, but they are anti-evolution. They fear the flash because light reveals. It unmasks. It dismantles the control systems they've spent millennia perfecting. And that's why your awakening hasn't been easy. You're not just shifting timelines. You're breaking contracts, leaving old identities, and walking away from energetic structures that no longer serve your soul. The inner battle many feel right now, the emotional highs and lows, the existential anxiety, the spiritual fatigue, is not weakness. It's initiation. You are being refined by fire. And you are not alone. Those higher beings? They're already here. Not in ships, although some believe that too, but in your dreams. In your meditations. In those goosebumps you get when something just feels true. Their message is always the same. You are the light. You are the key. Prepare your inner temple. We are with you, but you must rise. This is not a story of rescue. It's a story of remembrance. So now the question becomes, if the great solar flash is real, how do you prepare for something that transcends space, time, and physics? The answer isn't found in bunkers or bug-out bags. It's not about how many supplies you have. It's about what you are carrying inside your frequency. Because when the flash comes, it doesn't choose anything for you. It simply amplifies what you already are. That means the real preparation begins within. 1. Cleansing the body and energy field. Your body is not just flesh and blood, it's a light receiver. Every cell, every chakra, every breath is part of a system designed to interface with cosmic energy. So start by detoxifying your vessel. This doesn't mean extreme fasting or rigid routines. It means eating living foods, drinking pure water, touching the earth with your bare feet, getting sunlight, moving your body consciously. And just as important, energetic hygiene. Practice grounding techniques, smudging, salt baths, breathwork. Even 10 minutes of intentional breathing per day can shift your electromagnetic field. When your body is clear, it becomes a better conductor of light. 2. Mastering meditation and frequency attunement. Meditation isn't about escaping the world. It's about tuning your dial. If you want to catch a cosmic signal, you have to quiet the static. Focus on your heart center. The heart emits the strongest electromagnetic field of any organ, and it is the key to coherence. Techniques like heart-brain coherence, third eye focus, or Merkaba activation can help you align with higher states of being. But it's not about the technique, it's about intention and consistency. When the solar flash arrives, those attuned to high frequencies may experience bliss, downloads, and heightened perception. Those misaligned may experience disorientation, emotional purging, or even energetic shutdown. 3. Integrating the shadow. This part is crucial. You cannot bring unresolved wounds, traumas, or false beliefs into higher frequencies. They will be magnified. Not judged, but illuminated. That's why emotional purging is happening everywhere right now. Old memories resurfacing. Random anger. Deep sadness with no clear source. This is your subconscious trying to empty itself, because it knows the light is coming. Don't resist it. Observe it. Journal it. Talk it through. Feel it fully. And then let it move. The solar flash will not do the healing for you, but it will amplify your healing efforts 1,000-fold. 4. Use ancient tools to anchor higher frequencies. Symbols are not decoration. They are geometry in motion. Try working with sacred geometry like the flower of life, Metatron's cube, or Sri Yantra. Place them near your bed, your altar, or wear them. Mantras, especially in Sanskrit, hold vibrational codes. Even simple ones like Om, Soham, or Are Madasa can shift your state. Crystals, sigils, light codes, they're not magic tricks. They're tools. Use what resonates with you and discard the rest. 5. Build your circle of coherence. Ascension isn't a solo mission. Connect with others on the path. Join meditation groups, conscious circles, or simply spend time with those who elevate your energy, not drain it. When people come together with shared intention, their fields merge and multiply. A group of aligned hearts becomes a node in the new Earth grid. You are not just a receiver. You are a transmitter. Your presence, your peace, your frequency shapes the field around you. So, what if everything we've explored isn't just theory or myth? What if this moment, the anxiety, the awakenings, the collapsing systems, isn't chaos, but a cosmic contraction before a higher birth? What if the solar flash is not an ending, but the ultimate remembering? For thousands of years, our ancestors left us clues. In stone, in stars, in symbols we once thought were primitive. But they weren't warning us of doom. They were preparing us for light. Because the truth is, the solar flash isn't just out there. It's already happening inside you. Every time you break a generational pattern, every time you choose love over fear, every time you listen to your intuition instead of your conditioning, you are letting the light in. This is what the ancients knew. They weren't afraid of the light, they were waiting for it. Not as victims of fate, but as participants in evolution. Because in the end, the solar flash is not about a blinding burst from the sun. It's about what that light ignites inside your soul. It is the fusion point, where cosmic frequency meets inner readiness. You are not passive in this story. You are the bridge between the worlds. Between the seen and unseen. Between the old earth and the new one that's rising through you. You are the antenna. You are the conductor. You are the storm and the stillness. You are the initiation. So no, this isn't about waiting for rescue. The beings watching from beyond aren't coming to save us. Because they know something most humans have forgotten. You are the ones you've been waiting for. And now, as the earth hums louder, as the Schumann resonance spikes, as solar cycles peak and timelines blur, the invitation becomes clear. It's time to align, to activate, to remember. Because when the flash comes, whether tomorrow, next year, or in waves already underway, it won't knock politely. It will flood through every part of you that still clings to illusion. It will shake what's false and illuminate what's real. So breathe. Open your heart. Speak your truth. Hold the frequency of love like it's the most valuable thing you've ever owned. Because it is. And above all, choose the earth you want to live on. Not with fear. Not with desperation. But with clarity. Because the new earth isn't built in governments or corporations. It's built in you. Thought by thought. Word by word. Choice by choice. The solar flash will not erase your shadows. But it will burn bright enough for you to finally see them. And then, you get to decide what stays and what dissolves. You are not here by accident. If this message has reached you, then you are part of this shift. You are not alone. And you are more powerful than you've been told. The light is coming. But the real question is, will you be ready to shine when it does?